Hey guys, today we're going to be having a look at Lorne Armstrong's uncut sting footage from 2007. I know a lot of people have already done this, but hey, I thought I'd chip in, give my opinion. It's a fascinating case. This dude is fucking crazy, to say the least, if you know the whole saga. But yeah, it's a good case study on, you know, how not to be. Let's go.
He's coming back, Casey. He's trying to make sure he can see you.
In a few minutes, our next potential predator will probably be thinking he too should have stayed away.
Okay, his name is Lorne, L-O-R-N-E. You're Kayla. You should have condoms, pizza, bracelet, and cam.
Hey, I'm glad you could come. How are you?
God damn, that's cringe. Hey girl! That's the thing. This, like, everything this guy does is like he's a real cartoon character. Like, it's hilarious.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Turns out today is his birthday. 37-year-old Lorne Armstrong.
Terrible.
Construction
Really?
worker.
How
He's been
come?
chatting with a girl posing as a 13-year-old for more than a month.
If you're unfamiliar with the catfish calls, he later goes on to say that he didn't want to go there. So watch this and see if this looks like a guy who doesn't want to be there.
It's one of the longest chat logs we've ever seen. 407 pages. Using the screen name Lorne A20014, he told...
I will give credit where credit's due. Not that this guy deserves much. At least he didn't have one of those cringy screen names, usernames or whatever. Like Bald Beaver Hunter or Meat Rocket or something. It's a pretty tame screen name. I don't know what the 20014 means. It's almost 2014, but that's 7 years in the future from then, so I don't know. I don't know if he's ever been asked, but it's, yeah, pretty straightforward name. No can I rape you anally or anything like that, so.
Tells her how to masturbate, and then asks her if she wants to see him naked. She agrees, and he turns on his webcam. He wants her to look at his penis.
Would you like to see it up close so you can get a better look at it?
Yeah, you need to really zoom up.
Oh my gosh. I guess, if you want to show me.
After chatting with the decoy, posing as a 13-year-old,
And that was a very typical response from the decoy all throughout the chat log, I guess. So, like, not saying that she wants to, but yeah, kind of. Guess so. If you want to do that, that's all it is.
for just 6 days, he expresses his deep love for her.
I wish I could marry you right now, because I would do it. That's how special you are to me, and that's how much I love you.
But
This is the thing with this guy, right? He's disgusting like all of the other predators with the overly sexual shit. And there's a lot, obviously, with this guy in particular. But there's also this element of, like, I wish I could marry you right now. Like, marriage, he talks to her like, you know, we're in love with each other and all of this lovey-dovey stuff. He love bombs her. They talk about the future and having children and this and that. And it's like, what the fuck? This guy is fucked up. I mean, of course they all are. Anyone who shows up on this show is a fucking idiot. They're all disgusting, but this guy sticks out because of many things. But yeah, one of them being all this love talk. It's very fucking weird. Very fucking weird to be talking to a kid like that. And you see, if you guys have seen the picture of who he thought he was talking to, it'll make his stomach turn. To me, she looks more like 10, 11 than 13. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
he clearly knows what he's doing is wrong, telling her to delete all evidence of their chat log.
Okay, delete your archives and remember, Mrs. Kayla Marie Armstrong, I love you more than anything.
And the giving her his last name is just So cringe.
He was so excited to be here, and he came walking in very proud, very excited. Look, we got these new chairs and hats to sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Yeah, look. It's a massage chair. I raise it and you press buttons.
Look, oh my god.
Yeah, flip the switches.
Which one is it?
You can use either one, but it tells you there's one for your butt, there's one for your...
Very smart of Casey to order him to get on the chair so that he doesn't go anywhere fucking near her.
your lower back, and there's one for your upper back.
I just felt my butt. Thing.
You can pretty much tell the difference when you press
Holy, yep, that's my
that
butt.
feels so good, right?
I thought you had blonde hair.
Do you like it? I dyed it by myself.
I think it's pretty.
Thank you.
It's very pretty.
Look at his face. He's the happiest man in Kentucky right now. It's for him to later on in the catfish calls say, "Oh yeah, didn't want to go there," is ridiculous. Like, obviously ridiculous. It's like, dude, we've seen the footage, we've seen the chat log, right? Like, it's insulting how you expect someone to believe that. Look at him. How? Anyway, let's continue. I mean, out of all the predators, right? He's one of the happiest and most enthusiastic upon arriving at the house. Some of them, for example, Jeff Stacy comes to mind, is just kind of like, I don't know whether it's a moral dilemma or if he thinks that, if he's figured out that it's a sting or he suspects it's a sting. I don't know, but he was kind of like, okay, when the decoy was talking to him. So Lorne would maybe have a case if he was like that when he showed up, but that's not what happened at all. The whole thing is him. Oh, hey girl. Oh my god, I'm doing good. How are you doing? I think it's pretty, like, yeah. Clearly, you want no part in this, Lorne. Clearly.
I was waiting to
It's insulting that he thinks people are as dumb as him to believe that.
eat because I thought you were bringing some.
I don't want to bring you any pizza.
Well, weren't you gonna bring me something?
Oh yeah, and one small thing. The pizza thing. Casey was, told that he was going to bring pizza, and that's not... Whoever said that screwed up, because he did mention ordering pizza, but that was when they were going to go back to his place in Nashville. And if he could scrape enough pennies together, of course, to buy one. They did talk about that, but there was no talk about him arriving at the Sting House with a pizza, like Jeff Sokol. That wasn't, so, yeah, whoever said that, yeah, got it wrong.
Well, yes, I was.
It's a small thing though, like, whatever.
And I did.
Did you bring any condoms?
Yes, I did.
Where are they?
Oh, in the truck.
His face is like, it's the happiest dude ever. And he is so glad that she asked that question. He is so glad that she asked that, because it's like, okay, she's on the same page as me. But he also says to this very day that he wasn't going to have sex with her, so that's an irrelevant question to which he shouldn't have responded like that. If they weren't going to have sex, why was he so happy to answer that? Yes, I did. Not looking good for you, Lorne.
Well, what good are they gonna do in the truck if we're in here?
Well, yell at me, why don't you?
Everything this guy says is fucking hilarious. I mean, the shit in the chat log isn't funny, but like his mannerisms and it is, the stuff in the chat log is funny. I mean, what he was trying to do isn't funny, but it's funny because we can laugh because it was an adult he was talking to, not an actual child. But yeah, that's such a funny thing to say. Well, yell at me, why don't you? That's so good. I've never actually heard someone say that, like, in day-to-day life. I don't know if that's a thing that they say over in America, some people, but I've never heard anyone say that. Like, you know, well, yell at me, why don't you? It's so good too because you can use it anywhere. Someone asks you to do like the slightest favor, like, oh, pass me the remote or something, and say, well, yell at me, why don't you? It's good. Good catchphrase. Good catchphrase. He's full of quotes, this guy.
I haven't had a kiss yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then what did you want to do?
I want a kiss first.
And then what?
Can I have a kiss first?
3 times. 3 times. And he would later go on to say, I know I'm talking about the phone calls a lot, but it's, you know, it's relevant because he spent a lot of time defending this. Like, how do you defend this? Yeah, he would later on say that he meant on the cheek, even though he didn't say that. And even then, like, oh, that's innocent. You know, he talked about sex non-stop in the chat log, and all the revolting stuff he was going to do to her. But he wanted a kiss on the cheek. Get your mind out of the gutter, guys. It was innocent. And even a kiss on the cheek, like, yeah, that's not creepy at all. How does he try to... It's amazing. Like, it's an unwinnable fight. When he, in the phone calls, tries to defend himself, it's like, you're never going to look... You need to forget this idea that you're ever going to look good or redeemable. It's not there. Like, this is fucking awful. This makes you irredeemable. You can't come back from this. This is seriously fucked up. One of the worst on the show. And the fact he was going to abduct her and take her across state lines, like, that's fucking crazy.
Well, let's talk first. We just got here.
Would you like me to go out and try to get my stuff?
No, it's alright.
No? You don't want your thing right now? Present I gave you?
Well, what is it?
Well, I can't tell you. It wouldn't be much of a present if I told you.
Well, you can go get it in a little bit or something, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
A little bit, not as bad as you thought you would be.
Not as bad, but I still am kind of nervous. I'd rather, like, talk a little bit first.
Anyway, why did he ask her if she's nervous? You know, what is there to be nervous about? We all know what he's referring to.
And then, like, so I'm more comfortable, you know?
That's, like, cool.
Good. I'm really glad.
I like seeing you in person.
Yeah, I like seeing you too.
Good.
So,
This is getting hot. How come?
oh, because press the red button. It's, like, heater too.
You gonna have a seat too?
Seconds from disaster.
I like to sit on the other chairs.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh!
Hey, sir.
How are you?
All right, how are you doing?
What's happening?
Not too much?
Not too much.
And he is caught. When he says that he didn't want to go there, he means he didn't want to be there at this point. That's what that means. And he says he didn't want to go there. He relates it to getting caught. I'm sure he doesn't want to be there right now. I'm sure he wants to disappear right now. Anyway, his face at this point, you know, you can't really see very well with this quality, but there is a HD video out there. I think if you punch into YouTube, Lorne Armstrong HD, there's a HD video, and his face at this point was just dropped. It's amazing. It's hard to explain, but you can see his soul leave his body. It's brilliant, brilliant justice.
Boston fan?
Yeah, actually, I don't even watch baseball.
Oh, but it's a Boston Cap.
It's Boston Cab, yeah.
So what are you up to tonight?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot?
No.
tell you, for the last several days, you've been up to a lot. You're a pretty prolific chatter there. Want to explain yourself?
If you notice there, he was starting to shake his head a little bit. Like, he just flashed the chat log at you, Lorne. You know what's in there. The denial starts now.
Not really. I never really was going to do anything.
You weren't really going to do anything.
No.
He's got the chat log in front of him, Lorne. There's a little bit of intent in there. Just a bit.
So you brought condoms. What else did you bring?
I brought her a bracelet.
A bracelet. And she is how old?
She's supposed to be 13.
Supposed to be 13. And how old are you?
37.
37.
And I will actually give credit again. He didn't lie about the ages like a lot of the other predators do. A lot of them go on and say, 14, 15, 16, 17. To make it not as bad, he was honest. Yes, she did say she was 13 and he is 37 today. But the honesty doesn't continue for very long. He's gonna just lie from now on, pretty much.
You have kids?
Today. No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, very fortunately. You've just been caught trying to fuck a kid. It's very fortunate you don't have children. And if you did, it would be super concerning. Because a lot of the other predators do. But this guy can't find a mate. I wonder why.
I've got nieces, though.
Nieces.
That I think the world of.
And you talk about your nieces in the chat here. And you talk about how you like to spoil the nieces and how you would like to spoil this 13-year-old girl like you spoil your nieces.
Yeah.
Is this the way you spoil young women?
No.
Now, what's your name?
And it is weird how he brings up his nieces a lot. Apparently, I mean, I don't know for sure, but apparently they want nothing to do with him, which is not surprising at all. It would be very interesting to know if they ever got creepy vibes from him, or if it'd be so interesting to ask. And I do not condone. Don't go looking for them on social media or anything like that and ask them questions. That's not cool. They probably want nothing to do with him. They don't want to talk about him probably. So I don't condone it, but it would be interesting if one of them chose to speak. If one of them chose to speak, it would be very interesting to know. Did he ever say something a bit funny, or did he ever say something that made you feel a bit weird, or did he? I know he wouldn't have. I don't think he would have outright done something. I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure he said and did things that they might look back at now and think was a bit weird. I'm only speculating. I don't know, but knowing this guy, wouldn't surprise me.
This is what I was afraid of.
What were you afraid of?
Stupid move.
What were you afraid of?
Just because she was a nice girl. And
She was a nice girl. You still haven't told.
Victim blaming. She was such a nice girl. What was I supposed to do? Not come over and molest her?
Your name, though.
Lorne
Lorne what?
Armstrong.
Armstrong. And where do you live, Lorne?
In Nashville now.
Nashville. What do you do in Nashville?
Actually, I work at a construction company.
And what do you build?
I just started last week. Building a gym for a church.
A gym for a church. Is that a good job?
Yeah.
Now, besides all this chat here, and we'll go through that in a minute, you also sent a whole bunch of pictures. Now, why would you think that's appropriate?
Small.
It's not.
He looks disgusted, but it's like, what's wrong, mate? That you did that. You're the one that stood there in front of the camera naked. Like, what's wrong? This has to be so humiliating. Imagine having a grown man hand you photos of your nudes. But, yeah, I should have thought about that before, getting in front of the webcam naked,
Those are all your pictures, right? Is that all you do in your spare time?
No.
That's a lie. That's all he did in his spare time. As soon as he got back from work, he was like, "I'm back, precious. Do you miss my penis? Blah, 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 blah." And they would speak until, I don't know, 10, 11 at night. No, that's all he did in his spare time. And whoever was doing the chat log, decoy work, whoever was behind the computer, I hope got paid really well to deal with his shit. That's overtime. Like, that's real commitment. But then again, you don't have to type too much. All you have to say is, "Okay, cool, kinda, I guess so. Yep, sure."
You ever get in trouble like this before?
No, I've never done this before.
You've never done it before.
Another lie. We do know about the MySpace girl, and I think there's another 2 that he's admitted to. It is very much in him to do this type of thing. And he was always going to get caught at some point, because he's a fucking idiot.
Have you ever met anybody in person who you first met online in the chat room?
No.
This is the first time. So what made you, all of a sudden, for the first time, get online, chat up a 13-year-old girl, and drive up from Nashville to meet her for sex? Lorne.
I love that part. He has to stop himself. I wasn't, and it's like, Lorne, he's got the chat log in front of him. You talked about having sex with her virtually the whole time. You can't talk your way out of this. I mean, he tries, but he just sounds insane because it doesn't make sense for him to say that he didn't want to. But obviously, he wanted to.
You send her naked photos. You have an explicit conversation. And you bring condoms. What does that add up to?
I know.
At first, you seem like the Good Samaritan, the protector. Don't tell me your last name. Don't ever tell anyone from the internet your last name, okay? Okay, why? Because there are some real weirdos on here sometimes, and they might try to go looking for you. So don't ever tell them your last name, your address, your phone number, the town you live in, or the school you go to. You're one of those weirdos.
Spot on. He is one of those weirdos. That's another part of the chat log that's terrifying. If you're a parent, this sort of stuff is terrifying. He establishes himself as a good one, as one of the nice guys, and he really tries to, establish that it's safe to talk to me. I'm one of the good ones. There's a lot of strange people here, but I'm the good guy. He really tries to establish that. And he warns Kayla about, people who talk sex on the internet, and he warns her. And then he becomes that. Well, he already was that, but he becomes what he warned Kayla about in the beginning.
Was that some kind of a ruse to gain her trust?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. So how did it go?
Well, what was it then? It was very much a ruse to gain her trust, obviously.
Go from, hey, be careful, don't give anybody your last name to,
That's a part of the whole grooming. Like, he's a serial groomer.
hi, here's some naked pictures of myself and I'm coming over with condoms.
I don't
I'll
know.
just
You
reverse
don't
it.
gain her trust?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. So how did it go from, hey, be careful, don't give anybody your last name to, hi, here's some naked pictures of myself and I'm coming over with condoms?
I don't know.
You don't know.
See, now he's shutting down. I don't know. I did all this stuff, and I don't know why I did it. Makes sense?
Well, you must know something. I mean, help me to understand this.
I don't know why.
You don't know.
I even did.
You don't know why you did it. Why?
Well, he knew why he was there a few minutes ago. Now he doesn't know why this is like, fuck you.
I think I know why you did it. You did it because you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
I don't think that.
You know, what?
I don't think that was it.
You don't think it was it? Well, why don't you help me out? Why don't you tell me what it was?
Alright, so what is he going to do? Is he gonna explain to Chris what led him to the house and be totally honest and give him a better idea about what happened that made him do this? And why he, essentially why he's there? Is he gonna do that? Or is he gonna tell a big sob story about how he got in an online relationship with someone who turned out to not be real, just in an effort to garner sympathy for himself, and just make it a big pity party for himself? Which one? It's B.
So I just wasted 5 years of my life.
I probably won't talk too much throughout it. There's nothing much to really say. He's just throwing a pity party for himself. There's not much really to say. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He got catfished for 3 years, and it took his sister fucking 2 minutes to find out he was being fucked with. So, I mean, he's an idiot. So, right.
Life on the internet, talking to girls that gained my trust, and she seemed like somebody I could trust.
You could trust. So when you say you spent 5 years on the internet, what, getting taken advantage of by women? In what way?
In every way.
For instance?
I was over in Washington State. That's when I started going on the internet.
When you lived in Washington State? You started going on the internet, and what happened?
I met a girl, she said her name was Amanda James, and she told me that her daughter was her niece, and that she was watching her niece. Well, she was actually had custody of her niece.
And then?
3 years later, I moved back to Maine just to be close to her because she lived in Pennsylvania. And I didn't date anyone. I didn't see anyone because of her.
All right. So what happened?
Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah, it's closer to Maine than the West Coast, but it's still like I don't know exactly, but it's still at least a 6-hour drive or so. It's not really being close to her.
I got back to Maine, and I was talking to her on the phone, and she, my sister wanted to say hi to her, and my sister had been on the internet for a couple of years, and she was able to read people pretty good.
And what happened?
And she got on the phone with her, and she, after she got off the phone, she was only on the phone with her for about 2 minutes, and she got off the phone with her and told me that she wasn't real.
She wasn't real.
I wonder how she knew though. Surely it wasn't a robot voice, or like a clearly like automated voice. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. But I'm sure the sister gave the phone back to him and said, "You're a fucking idiot. You're being fucked with. Stop talking to her.
She told me she was lying to me, and she'd been lying to me all along.
Did you ever meet this woman? Did you send her money?
Sent her money. I sent her all kinds of Dale Earnhardt things.
Dale Earnhardt things.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. things. She was Dale.
The race car driver.
Yeah.
And so because you got taken advantage by a couple of women on the internet, you thought it was okay to take advantage of a 13-year-old girl on the internet.
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Exactly, Chris. So that's the only conclusion he can come to. Like, what was the point in that story, Lorne? Like, what was the, aside from gaining sympathy for yourself, like, okay, you got catfished, so how does that relate to this?
No.
I'm very happy that you talked to me before talking to anyone else, though. This way, you'll be safe.
That's what I meant, too. I don't know how...
You don't know how
I
what?
don't know how I leaked to this.
Well, here, let me take you down the road. This is how it went. You started with this, and then it goes to... This is as thick as a telephone book, by the way, this chat. You started chatting with her when? Last month? So you've been chatting with this young woman for a month. And so it starts with you being the protective older brother type. And you flip through dozens and dozens of pages here. And ultimately, it builds into a very sexually explicit conversation. Right? I wish I were sticking it in you right now.
What's wrong, Lorne? You said that.
You tell her to delete her archives after we stop talking again, okay? Why did you want her to delete her archives? Help me out.
Help him out, Lorne.
You didn't want to get in trouble.
I didn't want her to get in trouble by her parents.
Oh, bless his soul. He was looking out for her. He wasn't worried about saving his, covering his own ass. He was looking out for her because he didn't want her to get in trouble for her parents. Well, it wasn't about him trying not to get caught. Bless his soul.
And this goes on and on and on.
Here we go. The tears are really starting now. His fucking bullshit of, saying that he doesn't know why he did it doesn't work. His fucking stupid Amanda James story to garner sympathy didn't work. He's being read his filthy messages to what he thought was a little kid. Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Do you think naughty thoughts about me before you go to sleep? You talk about getting married to her. Getting married. She's 13.
Yeah,
Huh?
when she was 18.
Whoa, what do you mean she was 18?
I meant when she was 18.
You were going to marry her when she turned 18. But you were just going to have sex with her from the ages of 13 to 18.
He's nodding his head, but that's exactly what he talked about. They're gonna have to keep this on the down low until she's 18, and he's gonna show up on her doorstep and say, hey, Dr. Moore, I've been grooming and molesting your daughter since she was 13. She's 18 now, so she's off with me, and we're getting married. Because that makes, that's realistic. This guy doesn't live in reality, by the way.
Are you excited about me or my penis? Did you bring anything else with you tonight?
I wish Chris actually sat there for longer and read more of the chat. There's so much in there. I mean, he picked some classic one-liners from in there, but you could sit there for an hour with the shit that he said. Oh, more than hours and hours and hours.
Like what?
Like anything?
No.
Food, alcohol.
No.
So just the bracelet and the condoms. Nothing else. What do you think ought to happen? Oh, here's a good one. Is Miss Vagina thinking about Mr. Penis? What is she thinking?
Who says shit like that? Look at the top left. Like, another reason this guy is memorable is this. Like, what the fuck? Not only is it, revolting, right? It's very disgusting. Like, not only that, but when you think about it, he's dumbing it down for a kid. That, like, that's something that you would say to a kid to dumb down something, is Mr. and Mrs. It shows you how aware he was that he was talking to a kid. And again, with the phone calls, he's tried every excuse in the book, right? He's tried every excuse. He's tried to say that he lost track of her age, which is insane. Again, Lorne, we've seen the chat log, mate. You asked her how school was, You asked her, if her parents are leaving. You asked her if she needed to rush her homework to talk to him. Mate, like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I don't know if he realizes that his excuses make zero fucking sense. Like, he's just defensive for the sake of being defensive because he's in trouble. But I don't know.
What's up with that?
What is up with that, boy?
What do you think ought to happen? Help me out.
Help him out, Lorne.
I think I should go to counseling to get off the internet.
You should go to counseling and get off the internet.
Counseling. He thinks he needs counseling. Well, I'm pretty sure in prison. They have counseling, so that can be arranged while you're there for 5 years.
Did you ever say to yourself, hey man, I got a problem here?
No, because I never thought I did.
You never thought you did. Does this incident make you think that perhaps you have a problem? What are you going to do about it?
The tears are so pathetic. Oh, fuck you off, Lorne. No one feels sorry for you.
I can do something that I can't do that. Go on.
Well, do you ever watch television much? You ever watch a program called Dateline NBC? Well, there's something I got to tell you.
Uh-oh.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. We're doing a show.
Oh, God. That's brilliant. Again, I know I just talked about the crying, but what a bitch. Oh, God. He is only crying because he's in trouble. He wants the tears to look like he is remorseful for talking to a kid like that. But no, the tears are for himself because he's in trouble. That's insane. Like, that's insanely childish. Like, when's the last time the viewer, when's the last time you cried because you were in trouble? Like, that's like, school. Like, yeah, that's what little kids do. You know? Just own your shit. And fucking take your punishment like a man. I really hate this guy, if you haven't noticed. I mean, he's brilliant entertainment. But I come from more of its perspective of... I just hate him, man. He's infuriating. Because he denies all of this shit.
Now you're free to walk out of this house right now.
He denies clear proof of what he is.
If there's anything else you want to say, now would be the time to say it.
And also, what a fucking asshole. He doesn't even apologize to Chris. A lot of the other Predators, and I'm not saying they're better than him, but, you know, at least some of them say, you know, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. He just goes, oh God, and then walks out. They should have made him apologize to Chris. He's such a fucking child. I mean, that they should have done that like in school. Well, maybe whilst he was outside, getting handcuffed or whatever, they should have brought Chris out with the cameras and stuff and say, apologize to Chris for apologize to Mr. Hansen for wasting his time. And I'm sure he would have done that because he's a bitch and he's scared. I'm sorry, Mr. Hansen. But he should have done that. He should have done that himself. He should have apologized. But he didn't because he's a fucking prick and he's only worried about himself at this point.
Jack's off the ground! Get down!
On the ground! Hey, stand back, Put your hand back.
You can still hear him whimpering. Oh my God, this is satisfying. Don't fuck kids, eh? This won't happen to you.
He's taken to the local police station where his car is searched.
On Mr. Armstrong's truck, we found some condoms, a variety pack, plus some jewelry.
And later, he's interviewed by law enforcement.
I believe you transmitted quite a few photographs. I'd like it an attorney.